Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online, oh I'm froggy this morning, at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Saturday today, it's 11 o'clock Pacific here on the West Coast. And I'm here with a project for you using the Regal Winter Suite from the Stampin' Up! September to December mini catalog. When I saw this was one of my favorite suites that was in the catalog, and I know that some people have a hard time with the designer series paper. It's quite bright in some of them, but it's absolutely stunning. And if you haven't checked it out, you really need to, because it is really really stunning. Now, I may not be able to see the chat if you're coming in through YouTube. I'm just realizing it's asking me to sign in. So I will go back and check out the chat afterwards if you're commenting through YouTube. And I apologize for that. I just noticed that it said sign in. So hopefully some people are joining me today and we'll make a project. I love the color combination of Blackberry Bliss and Highland Heather. And so that's what I'm going to use on my card today, with a little bit of gold, because yeah, it's just really such a pretty color combination. And the suite actually has not only the bundle, the designer series paper, some gorgeous Blackberry Bliss ribbon with a touch of gold on it, as well as some foiled gems in, I think, 3 or 4 colors. So pretty. So let me switch over. Enough chatting. Now let me switch over and we'll get started. Okay, so this is the Regal Flora bundle. It is a rubber stamp as opposed to photopolymer. And it's got some great line drawings with already the inside. So it is not two-step stamping. The images are a bit abstract in that the insides aren't completely inside the lines. It is distinctive, so I'll give you some tips around using distinctive stamps. Excuse me. So some really pretty images, and then some lovely sentiments, including thanks, which is one of my favorites. So any stamp set that has thanks as a sentiment definitely is one of my favorites. And then the dies that you get, of course you get the dies to cut these images, the stamped images out, all of them, and as well as this little one, if I can get it off. Anyway, that one too. You get a label die, which I've got it out because I'm going to use this on my card. When you cut it out, you get 2 pieces, so it makes it really easy to create a lovely little frame. Hey Amanda, oh perfect. Okay, so maybe I don't have to sign in to see chat. I'm not sure why that's telling me that. So this, you get the solid piece and also a frame, and so you could mix and match. You could cut 2 of these out and use one in, say, designer series paper and one in white, or in this case I've cut them both out and I'm only going to use the label part of it. So I'll save this. I always keep my extra bits in my stamp set. As you can see, I've cut out some pieces here. The other die that you get is this amazing die that, if you know me, if you follow me, you know that I love kind of sprigs and other pieces that you can put in behind images and sentiments. And this is gorgeous. I've cut this out of gold foil. Just going to poke these little bits out. It didn't do too badly. It's a really good die because it cuts right through and gets all the bits out for the most part. So I'm going to use that on my card today, as well as this. So if you haven't checked out this Regal Flora bundle or the Regal Winter Suite in the catalog, you really need to. Okay, so let's bring in, put this over here. So I've got my paper trimmer. So I've got a piece of Highland Heather cardstock cut 5.5 by 8.5. And we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Back. Grab my bone folder. So I've scored it along there. I'm going to fold into the mountain or the raised line and give it a good burnish. Okay, so this, I've got a piece of basic white for the top. That's going to be my first layer. And then this is one of the pieces of designer series paper. It's absolutely stunning in Blackberry Bliss and a little bit of kind of Highland Heather. The other side is gorgeous in Pretty Peacock, but we're going to use this Blackberry Bliss side. And this is going to go almost in the middle, but just a little bit up from the middle, because I'm going to stamp my sentiment along the bottom. And I do want to make sure I've cut 2 pieces of Highland Heather that are 1/4 of an inch. So this is a way to save paper. I could have cut a layer of Highland Heather that is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4, but instead I've just cut 2 strips that are 1/4 inch by 5 1/4, and they're going to go on either side. So you want to make sure, like I'm just going to move this up a little bit when I glue it, because I want to put my sentiment here on the bottom right corner. So I'm going to just take, if I can get my glue working. Okay, let's try a different one. Maybe this one will work. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to take and adhere this. Like I said, it's just going to be, say, like maybe an inch from the top, just to make sure you leave room along the bottom to stamp. If you could stamp it first if you wanted to, and then you will make sure you leave room. Now, I find it hard to hang on to this little 1/4 inch strip. So I take my liquid glue and just run just a fine line. You don't want too much because you don't want it to splodge out from underneath. So then I just take and I can put my Highland Heather piece down on there and butt that up against, hey Gabriella, up against that that piece of designer series paper. So this is a great way to save designer series, or save cardstock, so you don't use quite so much of a piece. Isn't that pretty? Oh gosh, I think this is one of my favorite pieces. And then we'll just glue this onto our card base like that. See if I can get it straight. There we go. It is an absolutely gorgeous gorgeous day here. It's October 12th. It's Thanksgiving weekend in Canada, and it's absolutely stunning out. I have my window wide open. Just amazing day. Okay, I just realized what I did, and this is one thing I don't typically do, but I kind of got chatting, is usually when I'm going to stamp a sentiment on, I don't glue it all down onto my my card base, because what happens if you make a mistake? So we're gonna trust that I can stamp straight. I'm gonna test this out because I don't have the label, so I want to make sure I'm stamping it. So I'm just gonna, okay, so I need to just tip it. So this is what I kind of do, is I just test it to see how straight it is and how I might have to tip it just a little bit from what maybe I think I have to. So hopefully, whew, not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. Okay. All right, so we've got that stamped. Now we can go on to stamping our other images. Okay, so I'm gonna stamp this one that kind of looks like, I don't know, it's hard to tell. Where's my stamp set here? I think it looks like Lily of the Valley, and then leaves. I'm not sure that that's actually true, but it's kind of 2 sets of sprigs. I'm gonna stamp that one in Blackberry Bliss. Now, as I said, this is a distinctive stamp. So one of my tips for distinctive stamps is, if you've got a really juicy stamp, stamp off and test it. This one's not too bad, but I'm still gonna stamp off and then stamp. And then you can see, hopefully, that it's a little blurry. There we go. You can see that you get that nice distinctive stamping when you do that. If your ink pad is too juicy, you won't get like that. It'll just kind of all mush together. So I'm going to do the same here. Okay, I'm going to stamp off and then stamp. My Highland Heather wasn't as juicy as what I thought it was, so, but that's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pieces, find my dies. Put that one, and then that one. Bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And let's grab some Post-it note tape just to adhere these. Just get these so they don't shift as I'm running it through. And then this one. When I lived in a suburb in Vancouver, all along the side of my house, I had lily of the valley growing, which I absolutely loved because it just smelled so pretty. And that's kind of why that kind of reminds me of lily of the valley. There we go. Save my Post-it note tape. Take that out. Okay. So that's for the inside of the card. It's my card base. So I don't want all of this. So I'm actually going to cut my label. I use the die cut. I'm going to cut it in half. So it's, let's see, it's about just over 3 1/4. So that would be 1 1/2, 1 5/8 ish. So I'm going to do that at 1 3/4. It's not quite half, but oopsie, just cut it not. And I'll save that little bit because you never know when I might want to use that. And I'm going to put that just along there when we get going. But I'm going to put so I'm going to put this on. Let's see. I might cut that off a little bit. I want that gold to show. Of course I do, because it's so pretty. So I think I will put it on kind of like, oopsie, you can't see that, like that. With dimensionals. So we're just going to take, and I'll trim this for the parts I don't use. So I'm just going to put that like that, just a little bit of glue on there. And then use dimensionals to put this on. Like that. Okay, and then we can take and trim just this side off. So I'm going to use dimensionals to adhere that on. Like I'm at the end of my, oh, there's one dimensional there I can use. And then we can use the rest of these edges. Okay, and then I put that over too far. Okay, we can get that off. Uh-oh, okay, we'll fix it that. Tore that a little bit, that's okay. We'll cover that up, but I have it just too far over, so I'm just gonna take and I wanna make sure I cover up that. Actually, let's just, there we go, there we go. There we go, we just got it sticking out a little bit. And then this one's going to go down on here. Cover that up a little bit, so we'll put that down like that. And then over, let's see, this way. I'm trying to only put dimensionals where I don't have, come on, where I don't want to pop this up twice, so I'm going to just take and put that on like that, and then, ooh, I do need that, actually. Yep, I do need another layer of dimensional there, because I have it double thickness going on here. So let's put that on top of those dimensionals, and then that won't flatten out so much. So there we go. Just a little bit of gold. And then the last thing I want to do, because it's so pretty, is this ribbon that is Blackberry Bliss and gold trimmed. It is a little coarse, so you can absolutely tie bows with it, but it's a little bit coarse, I think is the right word. It's not a satin ribbon for sure. Rough. Definitely you can tie bows. So I'm just going to take a glue dot and I'm just going to pop that underneath like that. And I'm going to trim it a little bit because I don't want it quite as long as I have it. There we go. So just a little bit of that gorgeous ribbon. Okay, let's do this. There we go. It's a little easier for you to see. All right, and then the last thing we want to add to this card for the front are, these are called Regal Foiled Adhesive Back Dots, and they come in, I think that's either Shy Shamrock, and then I'm going to say Pretty in Pink, Misty Moonlight. I may have those wrong, but anyway, they coordinate so well you can use them with all sorts of our colors. And then of course Blackberry Bliss, and that's what I'm going to add on to my card. So I'm going to put one kind of in the middle of that flower because it seems to call for a center for me, and then just a couple of other ones here on the, like that. Okay, now we have to do something on the inside of the card, and since I really love this one that reminds me of Lily of the Valley, I'm going to stamp that. And again, I'm going to stamp off because my Blackberry Bliss is a little bit juicy, and so I want that cool detail of the distinctive stamp to show. Thanks, Amanda. All right. Is that the right one that works? Yep, okay. So some glue. And I'm going to do some sticking. I'm going to put another glue dot on my front because it's kind of sticking up a little bit more than I want it to. Let's do that. So let's just take, if I can find my glue dots, there they are. I'm just going to take a glue dot and stick on that ribbon so that it kind of stays down, and then we'll just kind of bend that down a little bit. That's a little better. Okay, there we go. I love this card. I think it's so pretty with those colors. And if you haven't checked out this absolutely gorgeous Regal Flora bundle and then the Regal Winter Suite in the catalog, in the mini catalog, you absolutely need to do that. It's really cool. It's not necessarily holiday. In fact, it is not holiday. I'll say that. The paper is a little bit wintry, I think, because it's dark, but it's so pretty. I've made some cards with it. You may have seen the card I did in Wild Wheat. If you know me, you know I love Wild Wheat, and so I couldn't resist making a card out of the Wild Wheat one. But over the next few days, I'll be sharing some other cards using this suite, so stay tuned. I hope you'll join me. So I will be live tomorrow at 12 noon with another card. I'm going to use again, like I said, the Regal Flora bundle. So come and check it out again tomorrow. If you are in Canada and you're celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend with family and friends, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great turkey dinner. And if you are busy the weekend, don't forget to check out the replay afterwards. And if you're coming in through YouTube and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you click that subscribe button so that you get notified. Thanks everybody. Hope you have a great weekend. Happy stamping. Bye.